Its lift and trim system is designed for one pass, even trimming from any angle. But is this Philips Norelco Beard Trimmer 5500 a true upgrade from its older brother, the Series 5100? We'll find out, coming up next. What's up guys, I'm Paul D'Onofrio back with you from Groom Reviews. We're getting you comfortable, confident, and clean in grooming. On this channel, we're bringing you everyday grooming product reviews. So if you're new here, be sure to subscribe and make sure to hit that notification bell to stay on top of all our latest videos. You can also check us out on our website at groomreviews.com. So today, we're taking a look at the Series 5000 Philips Norelco Beard and Stubble Trimmer, model BT5511. Which Philips touts for its 40-length adjustable settings and DualCut steel blades. Despite being new to the market, this grooming device is already an Amazon Choice recommendation, climbing the ranks at number 67 for the category of beard trimmers. Reviews are starting to come in, and it currently holds an impressive 4.7 out of 5-star review rating. Accompanying this Philips Series 5000 beard trimmer are a beard and stubble comb, short hair comb, long hair comb, charger, and brush. Now if you take a look at my previous video on the Philips Norelco Series 5100, you'll notice that the Beard Trimmer 5500 is basically a new and improved model in the Series 5000 family. While the Philips Norelco Series 5100 includes 3 beard and hair combs that work in combination with a built-in zoom wheel, the Beard Trimmer 5500 includes 3 identical combs that hold only slight variations in design and feature the same hair lift technology. For beard and hair trimming, the Series 5100 is capable of cutting at 34 length settings from 0.4mm to 13mm, while this Philips Series 5000 trimmer takes it up a notch, incorporating 40 precision length settings ranging from 0.4mm to 20mm. You'll also notice an internal LED light that illuminates each increment on the Beard Trimmer 5500 as you turn its zoom wheel. The Philips Norelco Series 5100 beard and head trimmer uses a lithium-ion battery and requires 1 hour of charge time for 70 minutes of cordless use. However, the Philips Beard Trimmer Series 5000 outperforms, utilizing a lithium-ion battery that requires 1 hour of charge time for 90 minutes of use. The Beard Trimmer 5500 also incorporates a charging indicator light, which is absent from the Series 5100. Both trimmers can be used plugged in for continuous use. The Series 5100 and Beard Trimmer Series 5000, along with their attachments, are both fully washable. However, these trimmers are only to be used in dry condition and cannot be used while bathing or in the shower. Currently, the Philips Norelco Beard and Hair Trimmer Series 5100 sells on Amazon for around $49, while you'll find the Beard Trimmer Series 5000 closely priced around $48. I'll link to the products in the description below. So this Beard Trimmer 5500 is very similar in design to the Series 5100, but it does come with longer length settings. For those of you with those longer beards out there who may have found that the Series 5100 was lacking in that area. Now Philips claims that with this device you only need one pass for an even trim, but understand with that claim they're talking about stubble, not really the longer beard. You may have to go in a few more times to even out that area, but with the stubble itself, when you're down to that low-lying hair, they're claiming that their comb attachments with that lift technology on there can lift the low-lying hairs, get it to a point where you can evenly trim it just in one pass. So for this trim, we're going to tighten up the beard, keep the goatee a little bit more pronounced, get those sides trimmed down, get under the neck. We're just going to see what the Beard Trimmer 5500 can really do and how well it can cut. So let's dive in and see how similar or different the Beard Trimmer 5500 is to the Series 5100. All right, guys, so that was the Beard Trimmer 5500. And as you can see there, I went in there, shortened up the sides here, did about 5 millimeters on the sides, and then decided to keep the goatee a lot longer. Went in there with some of those hair comb attachments, just trimmed this up a little, tried some different settings. I was on like a 20 millimeter and a 15 millimeter just to test it out, you know, see what it was doing. And it worked well, you know, very even trim. For some people, they might not want a goatee, but you know, we just left this so you can see, you know, longer length hair, what it would look like for some of you. But definitely, you know, a great tool. So if we compare the Beard Trimmer 5500 to the Series 5100, just looking at the length settings right off the bat, we get 34 length settings from the Series 5100 that go from 0.4 millimeter up to 13 millimeter, while we get 40 length settings out of this 5500 that go from 0.4 millimeter up to 20 millimeter. Right there, you have an advantage with this 5500. You get more length settings so you can cut that longer length hair. As you saw earlier with the comb attachments, both very similar for these devices, but to show you how they go on, for the 5500, you just take it, you put it in the slot here, and you push. Very easy. Same concept with the Series 5100. There's two little slots on both sides here. You put the comb attachment in, you push, and it goes right in. Now with the 5500, they did get rid of those little slots that are in there. So the device actually just goes straight into two little holes here, nice and easy, snaps in. So it's a little bit easier than the Series 5100, but not really a big deal. They're both in there, both secure. Another feature that's changed from the Series 5100 is the actual shape of the device. If we take a look here at the 5100, it's kind of just straight. If we take a look at this one over here for the 5500, they've added kind of a curve to it. It gives you a little bit of a different angle of attack when you're going in there and you're going at the beard. So it kind of flattens itself out. It's curved and then it flattens out. So when you're going up, you can keep it nice and flat to the face. This one, you know, you got to keep it more straight. You know, it's all based on personal preference, what you prefer. To me, either way, they both work well. So I would say they're both evenly matched in that department. And as I said, the grip on this, you know, you got that nice contour in there. You can put your finger in there, but you also have a little divot in here as well, so you can grasp onto this. Now, both the Series 5100 and this Beard Trimmer 5500 both have a lithium-ion battery in it. Difference is the 5100 can only get you 70 minutes of runtime for 1 hour, where you get 90 minutes of runtime for 1 hour out of the 5500. Power on both of these was very good. They both cut very sharp. No issues going through. When I started it, you know, it was the same speed as when I finished up the trim. So in that department, you know, both are evenly matched, but you're going to get a little extra runtime out of this for a charge. As far as the noise level, here's the Series 5100, and here's the Beard Trimmer 5500. Both sound very similar. They're about a mid-range for noise level, but they both have a lot of power coming out of them, so they're very evenly matched. So as far as cleaning this device, it's very easy. You just put your thumb under this trimmer head here, pop it up, comes right off. You can rinse in there, clean it off with a brush. When you want to put it back on, you stick it right back in, push down, and it goes right on. Here's the Series 5100. Put your finger in, pop it up, comes right off. Push it back in, push down, goes right back in. Now when you take a look at these, the trimmer heads on these look identical, and you're probably wondering, you know, if these are actually interchangeable. I've actually popped them off and they're not. There's a little bit different design underneath, so you can't put one of these into the other and use it that way. Now one of the things you can do is interchange the charger with both of these. So if we take a look at this charger here, if we stick it in the 5100, it goes right in, and here it is on the 5500. Goes right in, and I've tested these on the wall and they both work. So as I mentioned earlier, one of the things with this Beard Trimmer 5500 is the LED light that's in here when you're actually looking at the incremental settings that are on the zoom wheel. That's not the case with the Series 5100. They're actually built into the device. You can see them right away when you're turning it. But on here, you can't actually see it until you start charging this. So right out of the box, you're gonna get this, you're gonna spin the wheel, and you're not gonna see anything. You're gonna say, hey, you know, what are the increment settings on here? I must have a defective device. But once you actually plug it in, start charging it, it has enough power in there for that light to go, you'll start seeing the increments as you turn this. So overall, the Beard Trimmer 5500 versus the Series 5100, this is just the next upgrade in the Series 5000 family. You're getting 20 minutes of extra runtime. You're getting those extra increment settings up to 20 millimeters for cutting that longer length hair. So if you had to go and you had to get one of the two and they're at the same price point, you're definitely going to want to go with the next version that's come out. Other than that, the comb attachments are practically identical. The shape of these, there's slight differences, but they're still practically identical. You got little tiny changes with an LED setting of the increments versus printed on here. But overall, both are great devices. Both cut very well, very even trim. But at the end of the day, you're going to go with the one that's giving you a little bit more at the same price. Now, if you find the Series 5100 and you can get it for, in the $30 range versus this one's in the $40 range, I definitely would say, yeah, go for it. Save that extra money because if you don't need to get the to 20 millimeters length setting and you don't really care about that extra 20 minutes of runtime, it's still a great device and you're saving yourself some money. But overall, at the price point they're both at now on Amazon, I would say that this one is going to give you a little bit more bang for your buck. Alright guys, I hope you found this video helpful. If you did, a like, comment, subscribe, share, anything you can do to help the channel, I greatly appreciate it. Make sure to check me out on Instagram @GroomReviews. I thank you again for being here, and I'll catch you next time.